Agent Tony Montoy. Log date 9848. File number 5872. Brain Blaster. The following audio interview has been conducted by the National Supers Agency and is the property of the U.S. government. These classified files are not meant for public release until proper clearance has been given.
We got awesome people out there that are saving the day every day. Frozen, Incredible. We got good people out there to save the day against, tyranny, tyrants. That, what was his name? That little bomb guy, or bomb boy eyes, whatever his name is. That's a real threat out there. He's out there blowing the city up. As far as I know, my powers don't blow people up. Alright, so yes, sometimes I go a little too far in my powers. I will admit that. But, sometimes you just can't stop the bad guy in the traditional sense, Did I not do the right thing? Did I not save the world? Look, no one should be afraid of my powers. We're all good people.
What is good, folks, and welcome back. Today, I want to talk about The Incredibles for a little bit, because I've seen the videos. We've all seen the videos. We've all seen the edits of the audio files from The Incredibles DVD set or whatever. We've all seen those videos, and that honestly triggered so much nostalgia in me that it made me want to go and rewatch The Incredibles, because it's been like 10-15 years since I saw the first one, so I decided to go check it out. Phenomenal film, by the way. It still holds up really well. But the big thing coming out of it for me, the big question I was asking throughout all of this, after seeing all those videos and watching the movie, how was Syndrome able to get away with all this shit? How was he able to get away with purging as many supers as he did with nobody asking any questions? Because as we see in the movie, the supers are basically under witness protection. The NSA has taken the effort into putting them into hiding and giving them new identities and everything. So they are reasonably keeping track of them. The US government has been keeping track of the supers. How do you just lose so many of them with no questions being asked?
And it's gone.
What?
It's gone. It's all gone.
And that line of thinking eventually got me to this video here today, because now I'm positing this theory. Did the US government condone Syndrome's actions, or at the very least turn a blind eye to it? Were they aware of Syndrome's superhero purge? And I have no out and out evidence to support my theory outside of speculation. This is all speculation at the end of the day. But it's the US government. You can't tell me they wouldn't do this shit.
Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
And that's the subject for this video today, folks, because today I want to talk about the day the supers died. But Sage, why would the US government be cool with the supers getting taken out? Well, let's remember where timeline-wise we're at. We're in the 1950s going into the 1960s. That is when The Incredibles is set. The golden age of heroes was back in the 40s, World War II, that area. So, let's dive our minds back to that point.
Oh, you out of time, baby. Damn!
Everything, and I mean everything from the US government's perspective, was viewed through the lens of the Cold War. And so the supers were seen as this other arms race. They had to prop up this community as their examples of shining patriotism in Americana. This was the main goal of the Golden Age of Heroes, to prop up this community of heroes so that they could be the beacons of American ideals.
America, fuck yeah, coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah, America, fuck yeah.
But then we start seeing the dark reality underneath all of that patriotism, which eventually led to the supers getting banned in the 1950s. As we see from the audio files, a lot of these supers are not good people. Blaze Stone is somebody with a temper and has a habit of setting things on fire that, in her own words, should not be set on fire.
I only light a couple of things on fire that I shouldn't light on fire. I mean, it's not my fault. I mean, it is very hard to, keep everything under wraps. Sometimes my temper, I can get a little bit hot-headed, but not much. I mean, when I think about things that kind of anger me just a little bit, then boom, the building lights on fire, and then next thing you know it, the hills light on fire, and then Frozone has to come along and cool everything down, and then I have to be grateful and say, oh, thank you, Frozone, I really appreciate it, but, he's really annoying. He thinks he's all that. And
Hypershock is a well-known drunkard with the powers of earthquakes.
You know, I could be out solving crime at the very least. We're solving this hangover. Ow! Oh.
Psywave has actively admitted to possessing people in order to get what she wanted out of them, no matter what the repercussions would be or their consent is involved. And she has no qualms about it. She is laughing that shit off.
It would just happen. Never really used it to harm people, except for all those girls I made the guys break up with because I wanted to date them. Kind of freaky, actually.
And that's not even mentioning Gamma Jack, who actively will let people die because he does not feel like saving them. And this is a guy who has a tendency towards megalomania and tyrannical implications. This is a well-known super supremacist. Even the supers that are decent people like Gazerbeam have admitted to sometimes cause collateral damage because that's the nature of how their powers work.
If I look at anything too intently, it tends to burst into flames, which can be a real pickle in a relationship scenario. When you're conversing with somebody, a normal person would be able to look them square in the eye.
This is not a good situation to be propping up. This is not a stable situation to keep continuing. So it makes sense that a boiling point would be released and the public would call for supers being banned. But that's not exactly solving the problem. These are potential threats to national security that the US wouldn't take lightly, because how do you allow these guys to still walk around without any sort of check? What is the contingency in case any of these guys fall off the wagon? What if the supers decide to lead a revolution against the US government because of their oppression? Or if they just decide to lead and go play for the other team, as Elastigirl put it in those audio files?
You know what? I got a good question. How come the NSA, the National Supers Association, isn't paying for my actionwear, huh?
Just remember to save your receipts.
I don't think you guys want me playing for any other team, do you?
We can't have that commie shit hanging around. Eisenhower and Nixon are very pissed.
Oh dear. You don't think? By the way it's looking, Dwight, I'd say he's a dirty, oh god, collectivizing, no, commie. Commie! Commie! Yeah, go get him, Dwight. Holy shit, you actually did it. World Star!
Or even if you want to pull up My Hero and pull this whole doomsday theory, what if a super baby is born with very volatile powers that become a public danger? It is very well within the realms of possibilities. These are what ifs that the US would consider.
You married Elastigirl? And got busy! It's a whole family of supers! Looks like I've hit the jackpot! Oh, this is just too good!
Enter Syndrome, because there is no way they do not know about him. Because he is a weapons developer and contractor, there is no way in hell the US government does not know about him. And he's been talking a lot about evening the score between supers and normal people. I can see him being a point of interest in the CIA. I can see him being on their radar for a potential, there's something with this guy, we can do something with him. What if they provide him with some files and research material to help develop something to keep the supers in check? Because all the audio files that we see, those are all the ones that Syndrome had access to. Those are the ones that he was somehow able to get. And sure, maybe he would have been able to bribe his way into getting those files, or Mirage somehow being able to steal the files that she could. Sure, that is a plausibility. But all I'm saying, this ain't out of the realm of plausibility for the US government. We've done worse.
And remember, kids, the next time that somebody tells you the government wouldn't do that, oh yes they would.
I can see them having some sort of under-the-table agreement with Syndrome to help develop the Omnidroid. Maybe not knowing about his true intentions with them, but I can still see them at least helping prop him up a little bit with a sort of keeping a distance of, look, our hands are clean from this. This has nothing to do with us. If this comes out, you're the one taking the fall for this. Because the US government needs a check on the supers. They need a failsafe in case some of these guys go off the rails and decide to become a problem.
Death is a preferable alternative to communism.
And all of this would lead to Syndrome's purge of supers. And my original question at the top of this video, How do y'all have all these supers disappear and not know what's going on? Because y'all are observing these guys, y'all are making sure they are staying in line, y'all are aware of where they are. They do not just disappear without you knowing. There is no way that they would just disappear and you not know what's happening to them, or at the very least, know where they went. I can see the US government being very aware of what's going on and keeping their distance, maybe not aware of the full situation of what Syndrome's planning, but at least aware, okay, he's testing these Omni droids against some supers. Okay, these guys we don't care that much about. If anything, Syndrome's actions would be helping the US government more than anything else, because they're having to pay a lot to keep the supers in hiding, as we see in the movies, because that is a lot of people you have to pay off. You have to wipe people's memories, you have to pay medical bills, you have to pay to keep people quiet, you have to pay for collateral damages, you have to do all of this in order to keep supers in hiding. And I can see the US government just being like,
it means hundreds of thousands of taxpayers' dollars.
I know.
We gotta pay to keep the company quiet. We gotta pay damages, erase memories, relocate your family. Every time it gets harder. Money, 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 money. We can't keep doing this, Bob.
All I'm saying, I can see J. Edgar Hoover pulling this shit. All I'm saying, I can see Nixon signing off on this. I'm just asking some questions.
And once I'm swept into office, I'll sell our children's organs to zoos for meat. And I'll go into people's houses at night and wreck up the place.
And they got very lucky that Syndrome pulled the shit he pulled later on in the movie, because that gave them an out. That gave them plausible deniability right there. It's not our fault. He went rogue. He was a crazy dude who was out here planning this purge on supers. He's the bad guy. He's the one that did all of this. He was a rich guy from the middle of nowhere. He did all of this. We had no idea. We had no idea. It's not our fault. The Incredibles is such an interesting IP because it leaves so much up for the viewer's interpretation to kind of go back in and look at the context surrounding everything to sort of start putting our own pieces together. I love it because all we have to go off of really currently is just the context of the times, the existence of supers and what that means for the public, and what we see about who the supers are as individuals. It makes sense that all of this would happen this sort of way. My theory is very much within the realm of plausibilities, I feel, because of the actions going into it and how people would act in them.
I cherish peace with all my heart. I don't care how many men, women, and children I need to kill to get it.
And I find it so interesting because, yeah, all we have to go off of are the audio files and what we see in the movie. And whatever books or comics exist, I don't know, I haven't read them yet. It's really interesting because all of this is up for interpretation and within the realm of possibilities when you look at the context of the times and who are all the players involved in it. I hope y'all enjoyed the video today, folks, and if you did, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button, and hit me up in the comments down below and let me know what y'all think about my theory on The Incredibles. Do you have your own? Be sure to let me know down in the comments below. But for now, I must bid you all adieu, so goodbye, mwah! Good night, Sage out.